here with Katie George, and the volleyball season's right around the corner. What are you most excited for?
I think I'm most excited from the standpoint that it's such a tough schedule. I mean, we start right off the bat with Illinois, who's ranked, I think, 8th or 10th right now in the country, and our non-conference schedule is super tough, and I think if we get some big wins early, we can go into the top 25, and we can really hit hard with our RPI. And then, of course, we go into the ACC, which is a tremendous conference in volleyball, and we saw that last year, how tough it is. And so I'm just very excited about that because it's a challenging conference each night, Friday to Sunday. But we've been working really, really hard with preseason. I think we're in a good place, and I can't wait to get started.
Maya said that she feels like the leadership is everybody's bought in, everybody's moving forward, and really concentrating on having a better season.
Absolutely. I think our leadership is prevalent. I think with Erin Ferris being a transfer from South Florida, she's been huge for us. Myself as a senior and the setter of this team, I think that's very helpful. I've have the most experience being a freshman here, and going all the way through these last 3 seasons. So I think the leadership is strong. I think our work ethic is really strong, which I think is important. And we have some really talented transfers and freshmen that are going to help out early. But everybody's bought in. Everybody buys into what Ann Cordes has to say always. And, our gym culture is so intense, so competitive, and that's all you want leading up into these big matches because we're really going to have to fight, to make wins in the ACC and non-conference.
Competitiveness, I hear you say that a lot. You're one of the more competitive people I've ever seen on the court. Where did that come from? Where's the roots of that?
I don't know. I think I was born a competitive person, but I have 2 older brothers, and they were super tough and rough with me. Growing up, I felt like a third brother. I didn't feel like a third, sister. But I think they kind of, ignited the competitiveness in me, and I've always wanted to be the best. I want to finish my test first in class. I want to be the best at drills, and I think, that drives me and my competitiveness and just being an intense competitor out there on the court, and that's what I try to stem from for my teammates and show them that you can't be super competitive. It's good. It's not a bad thing as a female athlete to be competitive. That's what we want, and I think it gives you an edge out there on the court, and so I can only hope that will take us further in season.
How did the pageant thing go from that may be nice to I'm doing this, I'm gonna go for it?
I just kind of thought of it as an idea. I had been asked the past 3 years if I would compete by the state director, and always I'd be like, no, I'm a volleyball player. This isn't my thing.
Right.
And then, this past year, in December of last year, I decided, Mom, Dad, I'm gonna do it. I'd love for you guys to be there. Please support me. And then, it was just such a little idea, and that's what's so crazy about it is never in a million years did I think that I'd be competing at the Miss USA pageant, let alone be Miss Kentucky USA. And so it's so funny because I didn't really work, to be a pageant girl. I just went out there and did it, and I was lucky enough to win. And then it's turned into this huge story, and people have really gotten behind me, and the love and support that I've seen from family and friends at the University of Louisville has been amazing. But it's been such a whirlwind. I'm glad that I'm back in the swing of things, doing what I love, doing what I know, which is playing volleyball.
Who gave you more grief, your brothers or the volleyball team, about being a pageant girl?
My brothers absolutely. They call me Honey Boo Boo.
Oh, really?
And then a few weeks leading up to the pageant, I was eating salad and grilled chicken, and that was it when we'd go out to eat. And they just keep giving me grief. But the volleyball team was so supportive. I mean, as soon as I told them, I remember telling them on an away game in Virginia last year, and immediately they said, "Stand up! I want to see your walk down the hall." And they said, "What swimsuit are you going to wear?
Right.
We want to be there." Started asking me questions, from Google about interviews. So they were so supportive. They wanted to be a part of it, as much as possible, and they absolutely have. And even leading up to the Miss USA pageant, I was getting texts from them every day down in Baton Rouge, which I think, that feeling of support, can't be compared to.
What was the most surreal moment throughout that process?
I think being saved by the people, that was pretty amazing. I was almost overcome by emotion on stage, just knowing that many people voted for me. I didn't know the margin that I'd won by until after I was eliminated again, but just knowing that people at home, and it's not just pageant people in Kentucky that were voting for me, it was Louisville fans voting for me. It was family and friends who had never seen a pageant in their life, and I think that's what's truly special about the story is I was able to take people who don't care about pageantry and make them care for that one time because I was in it, and I think that's such a cool experience getting to know that. And then, when they said Kentucky, they didn't even say Katie George. It wasn't about me as an individual. It was the fact that I was representing the state of Kentucky, and I was able to get us to the next round, and that was an unbelievable feeling that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life.
as part of this process, you're taking these photo shoots and you're doing these like high fashion looking kind of stuff. That's got to be a little surreal. And when you look back at those pictures, what do you think when you see, you know?
I think when I look back at those pictures, you know, from Miss Kentucky, I think, is that me in there? You know, it's so funny because I actually told my roommate Roxanne that I was so excited for preseason to start from the standpoint that I won't have to touch my hair or put on any makeup. It's such a relieving feeling just knowing that people don't expect you to look done up all the time. You know, of course it's fun at being Miss Kentucky and wearing makeup and hair, but that's just not what I'm used to or accustomed to. That's not what I enjoy doing, you know, spending hours and hours making myself up. So, yeah, it is surreal. Sometimes I think, whoa, that's way too much makeup. I don't like how you know, caked on it looks, but this is definitely what I would opt for every day if I could.
Maya said, Coach Gorda said, we need one of these every year. So who's next?
Yeah, I think we've nominated the girl from California, Ashley Pettibone.
Yeah.
Even though she's from California, she can still be nominated for Miss Kentucky if you go to school in the state. So we're joking with her, so we're going to get it ready for next year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.